The whole world was shocked by the news of Gandhi's assassination.
These are the words of Mahatma Gandhi's assassin in 1948.
The present government is unfairly favorable to Muslims, and that policy is due to Gandhi. My shots were fired at the person who has brought wrack and ruin and destruction to millions of Hindus.
In today's India, sentiments are similar. But why do Gandhi's killer and some current Indian leaders think that Hindus are under threat in India, a country of almost 1 billion Hindus? To understand this more, let's go back. The British ruled India for almost 200 years, and to do so effectively, they used a divide and conquer strategy to drive Muslims and Hindus apart. In response to British rule, 3 main political independence movements were born: anti-colonial secularism, Muslim separatism, and Hindu nationalism. Jawaharlal Nehru and Gandhi, the leaders of the Indian National Congress, believed in a secular India. They won India's independence by promoting an inclusive society that would be majority Hindu, but strive for harmony among all faiths. The All India Muslim League feared that Muslims in a post-independence India may be sidelined and wanted to create a homeland for Muslims. With the partition of India and Pakistan, their leader Muhammad Ali Jinnah did just that. That leaves us with Hindu nationalists, whose political ambitions were not realized. They strongly opposed the creation of Pakistan and resented the fact that Gandhi's India would embrace all faiths.
The charm and purity of the Hindi language was to be prostituted to please the Muslims. All Gandhi's experiments were at the expense of the Hindus.
One of the main vehicles for Hindu nationalists was the RSS, or the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh. The RSS rooted their ideology in a 1923 book. It advocates for Hindutva. It's the idea that the character and culture of India is exclusively Hindu, and that India should be a great Hindu nation. It sees Muslims and Christians who live in India as foreign invaders that should be secondary citizens, and borrows heavily from European fascists.
To keep the purity of the nation and its culture, Germany shocked the world by her purging the country of Semitic races, the Jews. Germany has also shown it is impossible for different races and cultures to be assimilated into one unified whole, a good lesson for us in Hindustan to learn and profit.
The RSS spread its message all over India by establishing local branches that encouraged young men to join as cadres. The RSS was banned for a few years after Gandhi's assassination, but after the ban was lifted, the movement grew. In the 1960s, RSS volunteers joined or initiated different movements across the country, from student organizations to labor unions, religious groups, and healthcare services. Under the Sangh Parivar, an umbrella group of Hindu organizations, the Hindu nationalist movement began to creep into the social and political space of India. But how did it go mainstream and win political power? India's current ruling party, the BJP, was formed in 1980, and many of its top leaders were affiliated with the RSS, including President Amit Shah, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi was an RSS volunteer. The BJP took up the building of the Lord Ram Temple as a central campaign issue in the 80s. Hindu nationalists claim that a 16th century mosque was built by a Mughal Sultan over the temple. So on December 6, 1992, Babri Mosque was demolished by more than 150,000 nationalists led by the BJP and the RSS. The demolition led to religious unrest and rioting in other parts of the country. Unrest which gained momentum and led to more divisions between Muslims and Hindus. In 2002, 59 Hindu pilgrims were burned to death on their way back from Ayodhya. Hindu nationalist groups responded by burning the homes of Muslims and killing more than 1,000 people in Gujarat. At the time, Modi was Chief Minister of the state. 12 years later, the BJP under Modi won India's national election by a landslide. Since then, the government has been accused of rewriting India's history through curriculum and cultural reforms that play down the country's rich, diverse past. Political representation of the country's largest religious minority sunk to its lowest level in 50 years. Hindu nationalist mobs have been emboldened to attack Muslims and Dalits for slaughtering cows. So, 96 years after Vinayak Savarkar's book Hindutva, Who is a Hindu was first written, is Modi's BJP on a mission to make India a great Hindu nation?